Friends, hello. I want to talk to you about something very symbolically interesting and very unusual. Portal doesn't open. Decide for yourself, here a portal to Saturn opens. And no one, those who are starting their 2-year cycles, 20-year cycles. That is a day when you can come into contact. Your consciousness can come into contact with tasks that have a very long-term nature. And possibly dreams, because here Neptune plays a beautiful role, and he especially loves to reveal our unconscious through dreams. And on this day, clearly, distinctly, definitely, about 70% will have them. Important dreams. And in these local visions, Saturn the wolf runs like a red thread through them. And at the same time, this is the Aries brotherhood of planets, Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries. All of them are truly about boldness, about courage, about finding your true center, about finding some really important key meaning in your life. At the same time, the early degrees of Aries, which these planets are currently passing through, are often even associated with themes of the prophet, with people who change consciousness, who literally change the consciousness of large groups and communities of people. And during these days, it could be that an idea comes to your mind, you have a dream, or a phrase slips off your tongue that surprises you and might even turn out to be somewhat prophetic. And the second point is that here on this particular day, June 27th, yes, I specifically singled out this one day. This could happen, although I should also mention here that it might play out in other ways as well. And on other days too, besides just this one, it might not only be something personal. For you here, in fact, something could blow up on social media. Something could shock and surprise us and bring something new into our lives. It's as if there's suddenly a new understanding of the world, because here the very first degrees of Aries are activated. These degrees are essentially shamanic, quite esoteric, and they symbolize initiation into a new reality. And here they really resonate somewhere in our consciousness, literally saying that the world is starting a new cycle. In fact, all the planets move from the first to the last sign, from Aries to Pisces, starting from the very first degree of Aries. Right now, Saturn is positioned there along with Neptune. Neptune is practically beginning its nearly 300-year cycle, during which it will move through all the signs of the zodiac. If I remember correctly, it's a 300-year cycle. Well, actually a little over 200 years, so I won't confuse us with the numbers. Basically, the fact that it's at 1 degree marks the beginning of new realities and is like the first glimpse into a new world. All right, the whole point is, okay, you'll sense for yourself some subtle, esoteric, mystical influence from this date. That's also possible. Some voices on social media, some people who will definitely pretend to be prophets or just deliver a shocking, mind-altering idea. It's very important. If you suddenly find yourself at some esoteric seminar or event, there could be a very natural form of channeling happening there. Channeling is when, well, they often say it's when, for example, spiritual beings or even angels speak directly through my voice. It's like I somehow connect with them or their essence from somewhere out there in the vastness of the universe. And this kind of thing is actually pretty common in esotericism, so don't be in a rush to write me off as crazy or anything. But here, each of you can even feel inside your own consciousness that some kind of truth gets interrupted, and then some voice, my words but not my thoughts, literally surprises me. I don't see it often myself, but it's kind of interesting to play with now. As for those first signs, voices in your head, in conversations, or even in dreams, these are signals of a new reality. they were already being heard, could have been heard as early as June 9th and quite clearly. These voices will be present at the end of July, at the new moon, which happens in the sign of Leo on July 24th. That will be one of the brightest, most pivotal moments of the year, which really brings a sharp focus of consciousness to the fact that the world is shifting, and here you are, faced with a picture of new realities and circumstances. At the same time, let me clarify that all these realities, all these new cycles that are beginning, they start with courage, with aggressiveness, and with the boldness of Aries. Aries is always about declaring that the old order is gone. And Aries is always this brave leap into the fray, even if you have no idea what comes next. There's no going back, and the planets Neptune and Saturn, they finished their journey through Pisces, and now they're entering a new cycle, and this whole theme that the old is gone, the future is still unclear, but you have to jump into the fight right away. Let me clarify that. In reality, Saturn and Neptune will return to the sign of Pisces again, and here at the end of the year before they finally move into the new sign. So there will still be a kind of encore for these two planets, but really those are just minor details. In essence, right now, they're already in new signs and are speaking with these new voices. This video is turning out to be kind of esoteric and strange, but honestly, your dreams are going to hit you hard here. You're going to be blown away. It's going to be really interesting. So I think all these introductions are going to be appropriate. In this video, I'm also going to briefly give some comments for each zodiac sign. But just briefly. I've already done a detailed breakdown of this prophetic story in the junior videos. And below this video, you can find links to watch for each specific sign for free. It's on YouTube. Just click and you'll be taken to the right section. The video where I talk about the sign you need and this event is there. Everything is available below. Also, friends, I invite you to my private Telegram channel where I share some other new tips. We've created a bunch of tools. For calculations based on your date of birth, you can build charts and analyze any day or month. There are already a lot of tools there, not just for astrology, but also for cards, numerology by name. All of it can be decoded. It's really cool. There's feedback, and especially the latest, most popular one, mini numerology. We made a service for it, and right there, I'm really glad that many of the things I've used all my life, we've now implemented in this private chat. Basically, there's early access there. Videos are available a week, several days, or even a couple of weeks earlier. There are classes on some basic astrology topics, led by assistant astrologers. I won't ramble on about it now. So join for a month, see how interesting the process is in the group, and then draw your own conclusions. I think you'll see how much it influences what I do on YouTube. And well, there's a link down below in the description. And now let's continue talking about the story with the prophet. On one hand, everything that happens within these numbers is connected to these fiery planets, which are bold, brash, straightforward, but are tied to the fiery spirit of struggle and resistance. But here's a very important part. Why the prophet? Because in life we encounter events that are, so to speak, predetermined somewhere by our soul or by some kind of meaning. And we often flit about in life from one little thing to another, not always understanding the deeper essence that shapes our lives. Sorry for getting a bit like this. It's important for me to convey this philosophical digression here. In astrology, there are planets and zodiac signs too that are just utilitarian. I don't even know how else to put it. A carpenter makes a table. He takes measurements, saws the boards, sands everything down. Everything is beautiful, neat, wonderful, but that's a utilitarian approach to life. But there are people for whom life is about fulfilling their soul's purpose. It could be the same carpenter, but he approaches the material as if it's alive. It's as if there's magic in his hands. An ordinary melancholy turns into something that makes you go, wow. Even though another carpenter is working nearby, he approaches it in a utilitarian, almost soulless way. I'm saying this now because Aries is one of the main signs that demands a connection with the soul. They're so reckless, bold, aggressive, and daring partly because, first and foremost, they're friends with themselves. And the whole world will bend to that right here. These energies are about the same thing. Find that center within yourself, your soul, your connection. Stop being all about the hustle. Stop with all those utilitarian actions, counting numbers, digging into the little things in life. Find your main talent. Get in touch with your soul, and the world will just bend hard to your will. And these Aries energies, Saturn with Neptune, are about the fact that the truth will be with those who are in touch with themselves. If you're nitpicking, if you're basically running from one thing to another, if you don't know yourself, it might sound a bit esoteric, like that old saying, know thyself, but it's not just words. It's not in the details, not in the everyday stuff, but in some kind of soulful talent that each of us was born with. And these two planets in Aries, Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which are being highlighted here, they seem to speak as if from the voice of the soul. And they can speak about some very important things that aren't about the hustle and bustle of life, but about some main, bold gesture that comes from above, from your soul, which wants to be realized. And that's why right here, it's not about what you need to do in life. I don't know, have a child, plant a tree, build a house, or gather certain amounts in your accounts. Instead, it feels like on these dates, some deep mission is being voiced, as if your main talent, your core quality, might be revealed. And it gives you this courage, this boldness to be yourself, without paying attention to all the little things in life, and this not sweating the small stuff. Try to think boldly, act boldly, even if it goes against everything. These are the main ideas about reality, and let me now, well, I've kind of outlined the main context. That there's a utilitarian approach to life where you just need to get things done. You need to consult with someone. But there are times when it's as if your soul just demands to pound on the table and say, give me this. And here specifically, this call might be in your mind, in your understanding, aggressive, bold life is demanding you to connect, to take some daring action. Let me break down the zodiac signs to more or less comment on this situation. But already in the context of Pagey, you can find more detailed information about each zodiac sign below the video. There will be links there where I already discussed this in the June videos. Here, I need to do it like this. For him, the profound and significant role of this prophet is indeed very important. This is because, right from the very start, these are individuals who, first and foremost, truly live from their innermost soul. They are not at all blocked or hindered by all the constant hustle and the overwhelming bustle of the modern world. Break time equals 0.5s/. At some point, they are either alive and living, or maybe they're switched off and just resting somewhere. But for us, it's absolutely critical to have this connection with ourselves. And it's precisely this inner voice, this connection with oneself, that can be found here. For the Taurus sign, honestly, this topic isn't particularly close. Tauruses are people who enjoy the material side of life, after all. This warrior spirit, the search for one's own spirit, fighting for your spirit, for your own struggle, is, for Tauruses, first and foremost about living beautifully. Basically, you could say that this topic will actually affect Tauruses, but for us, it's much, much more significant. Later, I would remind you that this will happen in August, around the 25th or 26th, so it's not coming soon. Maybe around the 20th, although specifically dreams, intuition, and some new energies. Tauruses will feel them here, and they will come into your consciousness and somehow take shape. But probably, I would say that a new professional cycle might be starting here, and some brilliant ideas on this topic will come to you right on time. For Geminis, this upcoming energy on June 27th will be very easy to read and understand. Most likely, it will be connected to a new professional cycle, a new direction of self-realization that requires courage, boldness, and readiness. First of all, it's about connecting with yourself, and from there, things here become quite aggressive and bold. New directions. I'm opening up this period around June 27th for the Cancer sign. Basically, it unlocks your intuition and can really push you toward a new, serious relationship or reaching a new, significant level in your relationships. Or perhaps a symbol or the energy of the person with whom your relationship will become the key theme of the coming years will appear. Maybe someone will come to you in a dream, or maybe it will be a connection, some kind of contact. This is about interacting with people, among whom you will later find a key partnership for your life. In the coming years, for the Leo sign, it's a very important moment to gain inner boldness, courage, unity with yourself, and a readiness to decisively move through life on your own path. Another point is that there may also be a key theme of personal life and partnership here, which is just beginning to emerge. And perhaps somewhere in your mind, it only comes to you in the form of dreams, or maybe just some superficial conversations for now. A new personal cycle is starting for Virgos as well. This could be a very important cycle in your personal life, which I am demonstrating here. Or it could be in the form of a person who appears in your dreams, or through communication with a new circle of people. Bold, proactive individuals with whom perhaps both friendships and possibly something more may begin to develop and unfold. Some deeper personal relationships might also form, so here it's important to pay attention specifically to the themes of the 7th house of personal connections for your sign. For Libra, this period is, of course, important to a significant degree through the prism of relationships, because the sign here, well, I don't quite remember the details. Essentially, this is your sign, the opposite sign, the sign of your other half. And in this sign, Saturn and Neptune appear, planets that simulate a serious professional, a tough, strong warrior, Saturn, and a mystic, an esoteric and spiritual figure, Neptune, both of whom encourage you not to overthink things. They may become more and more a part of your life in the coming years, or even decades. And here specifically, there may also be dreams or some visions or a certain feeling that people with these energies are entering my real life, maybe in dreams, maybe in real circumstances. There will be encounters here, and you will understand what types of people are starting to come into your life. Become a pioneer. Here on June 27th, during moments of intuitive revelations, you might receive important information about your lineage, your family, or questions related to real estate and your home. Some beginnings, the seeds of new cycles connected to family, people, home, and property. First of all, we are next. Again, everything that will be related to the signs you can see in more detail in the video. There's a very important message for Sagittarians. A meeting with people who touch you deeply, who ignite your consciousness. A powerful, truly strong energy, spiritual knowledge, or some kind of spiritual initiation. Sagittarians themselves are like that. It's quite a wild, vibrant, energetic, young sign, full of dynamism. Here, it's important to pay as much attention as possible to partnerships, alliances, to interesting people, those around whom you really feel a strong flow of energy. And over these 3 hours, honestly, it's quite a historic moment. Leo and Capricorn have a place here. It's a conversation about a new 3-year Saturn cycle, present today, showing up in dreams, daily discussions, understanding, awareness, and insight. It's literally like opening my eyes to this new reality of the summer cycle for Aquarius, and for Capricorns as well, opening their eyes to a new professional path, to new character traits. Maybe it's about a new level of people I interact with, a new environment through which my life will continue to develop, for Pisces. This is also the beginning of a new personal life cycle, connected to Neptune moving into a new sign, and getting to know a new version of yourself through interesting, dynamic, bold, and daring people. Those are my general thoughts. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. I hope the forecast has become a bit clearer for you, but again, down below, there are links to more detailed interpretations that I've already given about this event.